In December of 2022, we started We Fight Monsters, and we came back to Memphis with a list of 14 sex trafficked women that Jess and I knew from our time out there. We're going to find them, and damn it, we were going to save them all. The first day, we found out 6 of them were dead. The next day, 2 more we found out were dead. And so in just a year and a half that we'd been gone, that many were gone. Some to murder, some to fentanyl, one natural cause. But anyway, that's how the mission was born. And it just grew from there, man. We ended up going back to the trap house where I hit rock bottom. We negotiated with the street gang that ran it and came to an agreement to peacefully shut the house down, and we bought it. And we ended up repeating that process a few more times. So we've now got 10 houses here in Memphis. A lot of them former dope houses. One of them used to be a brothel. At any given point in time, we're housing 100 to 120 men, women, kids, vets, trafficking survivors here in Memphis. So a lot of them in our homes. Some of them were, subsidizing the bills in their own homes while they're rebuilding lives. We work with multiple law enforcement agencies here not to send people to prison, but to carve the fixable people out of their cases. And law enforcement's actually been very open to that. They like this because most of these guys have been in law enforcement long enough to see what I see. They don't want to feel like they're just throwing Americans in jail for nothing, and they see the revolving door. So when they see, guys that are fixable, girls that are fixable, they'll refer them to us. We also work a lot of counter-trafficking operations with law enforcement. When it comes to people that exploit vulnerable human beings, I feel like that's who prison is created for. You need to go to prison. And so we'll work those cases. We'll deal with the victims, and then law enforcement deals with the traffickers. We've actually even enlisted the help of the streets at the request of Homeland Security investigations to find pedophiles because they couldn't figure out where they were. Like, I know this dude is out here somewhere. Well, you put the word out to the streets. And guess what? The streets hate pedophiles too. So it's been really fun, man. Like, we've been able to do a lot of really amazing things. And yeah, so the mission of We Fight Monsters, we aim to reduce the impact and suffering that human and narcotics trafficking have on the population. We aim to reduce the impact of generational poverty and trauma. And I like to say we've gotten pretty good at it, It's the most expensive hobby in the world. I could tell you that. We don't actually take pay from We Fight Monsters. Jess or I, neither one. We finally have our first paid employee. And the mission costs me money personally every month, but I don't care. It's worth it. It's worth it. And besides, I'm working an honest 12-step program. I have to make financial amends to the city of Memphis. I spent a lot of money on the dope economy, and that fuels every bit of violence happening in this city. I contributed to that significantly. I think Jess and I at our peak had a combined $1,500 a day habit, man. I mean, it was no joke. Yeah, so that's the mission. That's what We Fight Monsters does. We've got 2 women and kids houses. We just opened our second one yesterday for women and kids coming out of human trafficking. We house clients for the Shelby County Drug Court and for Veterans Court. Yesterday, we met with the United States Attorney, Michael Donovan, and I think he's getting us with the Federal Drug Court, Federal Reentry Court, which I didn't even know Federal Drug Court was a thing. So, the stage is set. America is ready for what we're doing, and we're not the only people doing this. There's people like us all around the country trying to stand these efforts up, And I think we're set for an upswing in empathy. We're all watching what's going on around the world, and if you turn on the TV, you look at social media, all you see is divisiveness, and it's manufactured. You know how many times I've been told, you can't help me because you're white? Or you know how many times somebody's asked me who I voted for before they accepted my help? Zero. You know how many times an Afghan told me, you can't help me because you're a Christian? Zero. Like, this division that we see online is fake. It's not real. And I think more and more Americans are waking up to that and realizing we're all in this fight together, and the people that are pushing this division narrative, maybe they're not on the same side we are. We're on the human side, it's not about being a Republican or a Democrat. Well, we're all human. And I think the sooner we can wrap our minds around that we're all in this struggling and suffering together, well, the sooner maybe we can end that suffering, because we are still the most prosperous nation in the world. And there is no reason any American should be out there suffering. Not if we can remove the thing that is causing them suffering. And I'm most effective at removing addiction from the equation, or repurposing it maybe. And so that's where I'm going to lean in. And more we're seeing Americans starting these grassroots movements, making a difference in whatever area it is that you can make a difference. And that's what I think we should push. I think we need to see this all around the country, man. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to have any crazy skill set to make a difference. You just got to connect with another human being.